In the past few weeks I've had a number of messages asking me why I haven't recorded any video on the Furies. Tyson Fury, Peter Fury, Hughie Fury, just Team Fury in general. There's been a lot of comings and goings regarding the Furies lately. Lots of different stories breaking. First and foremost, we've had the saga of whether or not the Klitschko rematch with Tyson Fury is going ahead. At this point, to my knowledge, no date has been confirmed, and it's slightly unclear whether this rematch has been completely formalised. In addition to that, there's been the performance-enhancing drug rumours that have surfaced, with the suggestion that Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury failed performance-enhancing drugs test and faced some type of ban or some type of suspended sentence because of this failed drug test. There's also been rumours about Hughie Fury potentially fighting Anthony Joshua and more recently Kubrat Pulev. I haven't made a video on these. I've kept my powder dry, and a few people want to know why. And I think the reason why I've kept my powder dry and why I've not made videos is that it's taken me a very long time to actually form an opinion on these things. Sometimes I look at something and my mind is made up instantaneously as to what I believe the truth to be. Other times things develop over the course of a number of weeks and reading a number of different stories. And for me, my opinion on this Tyson Fury saga has developed to a point it's taken me quite a while to form a definite opinion of what's going on. To set the scene, I think it's fair to say that historically, and still to this point, Tyson Fury has been my favourite boxer. I've been on the Tyson Fury bandwagon for a very, very long time. I advise many close personal friends to bet heavily on Tyson Fury for his first ever fight with Derek Chisora. I was on the hype train well before then, well before I had a YouTube channel. I followed him from the early days of his career, and I've been convinced from an early stage that he would go on to be heavyweight world champion. In my estimations, I've enjoyed his successes probably more than I've enjoyed any other fighter's successes. And it's fair to say that I am a massive fan of Tyson Fury. Having said that, I've always kind of believed that me being a fan of him wasn't because I was biased, wasn't because I was some sort of obsessive fanboy. It was that I was a fan on him based on what I viewed as merit and based on what I viewed as supreme skill in the ring. I've actually been critical of Tyson Fury in the past and of Hughie Fury in the past. Notably, I was critical of Tyson Fury for blowing up in weight. You know, Peter Fury was very vocal on Twitter that Tyson blowing up in weight was irrelevant and that he could lose the weight in time. But I came on YouTube and actually said, regardless of whether he turns up in shape, it's very bad that he's blowing up between fights. It's not good for the body to go up and down and up and down and up and down in weight by the extremes Tyson Fury's been doing. It can mean a very short career. I've also been critical of some of the fights Hughie Fury's been in, and been critical of the way Peter Fury has sometimes raised fans' expectations by alluding to the fact there's a big fight round the corner, only for it to be a late notice opponent who tends to disappoint. So, what I want to say is, whilst admittedly I am a Team Fury fan, I'm not one of these fans who puts them above criticism or puts them above concern. And addressing some of the recent stories, I am very concerned. The drug test issue is a very difficult one, because the truth is, whatever your opinion, whatever my opinion, very few people out there will know the truth as to whether Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury have or have not taken performance-enhancing drugs. There seems to be a vast amount of sources out there, a lot of which are extremely contradictory. Peter Fury took to Twitter and released a tweet effectively saying that they'd been cleared. You know, I'm not going to quote it directly, but effectively that was the impression that Peter Fury's tweet had given, that Tyson and Hughie went before a tribunal and there was nothing further to worry about. A number of newspapers are running with the story that in many ways, whilst a temporary ban has been lifted on the Furies, there is some further hearing in November It's unclear what that hearing is going to entail, but it seems that the matter is at least still ongoing and hasn't been finalised. And whilst nobody knows the truth of whether or not, and you may have an opinion out there, but the truth is nobody knows whether you're the biggest Team Fury fan or whether you are the biggest Team Fury hater. Unless you're an active member of Team Fury, nobody can say with 100% certainty whether or not these performance-enhancing drug allegations are correct or not. But what I will say is that certain elements of the timings here are at best questionable. So it appears that Tyson Fury withdrew with injury for the Vladimir Klitschko fight, if not on the very same day, at a very, very similar time frame to when the initial rumours broke about the performance-enhancing drugs supposedly found in the Fury systems. Now, that is highly questionable. It's not conclusive proof. It doesn't mean anything. But it's questionable, and it is certainly bizarre timing that Tyson Fury withdrew from a fight with injury seemingly hours before a news story was about to break relating to him potentially taking performance-enhancing drugs. This could, of course, be a complete coincidence with no link, but at best it is highly coincidental and bizarre timing that has occurred. As I say, no proof, nothing to take from that factually, but it is very, very bizarre timing. It's also quite bizarre timing that Peter Fury has released a statement saying, he released a comment via Twitter, saying that the Furies have been cleared and that there's nothing further to worry about and that they've been before a tribunal and the matter's sorted. It's bizarre timing that that statement came out around a day or so departed from multiple news stories saying that Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury were to face a hearing later on in the year relating to the matter. What I'm getting at is that's two highly coincidental timeframes as far as I'm concerned. Moving on, we've also had Peter Fury take to Twitter and say that Hughie Fury is now ready to take a fight with Anthony Joshua. To me, this seems absolutely bizarre. Hughie Fury is a guy who apparently was suffering from an extremely severe medical condition in his very, very last fight against a far lesser opponent than Anthony Joshua. The medical condition was so bad that I believe Peter Fury said Hughie was operating at circa 30% of his capability. Yet that medical situation that was seemingly ongoing has disappeared. And all of a sudden, Hughie Fury is ready to take the Anthony Joshua fight, despite the fact that he was apparently offered it twice in the past, and on both times has declined. Now, to reiterate, I am a big Tyson Fury, I am a big Hughie Fury, I am a big Team Fury fan. And I'm not going to sit here and make any direct allegations, because the truth is, as I said before, I don't know the truth, and unless you're a member of Team Fury, you don't know the truth. What I can say is, as far as I'm concerned, there have been three highly coincidental sets of circumstances with extremely bizarre timeframes which have really made me question what on earth is going on with the Furies at present. To reiterate, number one, Tyson Fury pulls out of the Vladimir Klitschko fight through injury, literally hours if not days if not hours apart from a news story breaking that he was in trouble for a failed performance-enhancing drug test. Secondly, Peter Fury takes to Twitter giving the suggestion that the matter has been resolved, hours if not days separated from a huge amount of news stories suggesting that Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury will have a hearing to determine what is going to happen next. Thirdly, Peter Fury goes to Twitter to say that Hughie Fury is ready for the Anthony Joshua fight, despite the fact that apparently Hughie was in very, very bad health quite recently, and despite the fact that Hughie has apparently previously rejected the fight on 2 separate occasions. Now, at best, we have to admit that this behaviour is confusing, and we have to admit that this behaviour doesn't completely add up. This is in no way proof that the performance-enhancing drug allegations are true or false. It's in absolutely no way proof at all relating to that. But as a Fury fan, it does raise serious questions as to what on earth is going on in their camp. Combine that with the fact that Tyson Fury has blown up pretty disgustingly between fights. Combine that with the fact that Tyson Fury led a large group through the Euros, drinking beers and dancing around when he was supposedly injured. And it just creates a really confusing set of circumstances. Is the Vladimir Klitschko rematch confirmed? Is that actually going to happen? Are the performance-enhancing drugs allegations actually resolved? Or do we have to wait until some hearing later on in November to find out the truth of the matter? Eddie Hearn said he's unsure whether he can make a fight with Hughie Fury and Anthony Joshua because that hearing is ongoing. And I completely agree with Eddie Hearn on that. How can he risk all that money? How can he risk a big fight with Joshua on pay-per-view if Hughie Fury could potentially face a ban dependent on the result of that hearing? And then Peter Fury took to Twitter to say that they would look to make a fight with Kubrat Pulev. Realistically, that's a fight that cannot happen. Kubrat Pulev is currently one of the front runners to get the Anthony Joshua fight, which is a world title fight, which is a fight with a 7-figure payday. It strikes me that Peter Fury has called out Anthony Joshua and Hughie Fury via Twitter in fights that he knows both of those opponents will not accept. How can Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn take that fight with the hearing hanging over Hughie Fury's head? How can Kubrat Pulev possibly take that fight when there's a world title shot and 7-figure payday awaiting for him, which he is a front runner to secure against Anthony Joshua? It's bizarre. One thing I will reiterate that I've said time and time again on this channel is that Peter Fury, in my opinion, has done Hughie Fury no favours with the way he's raised fan expectations. Peter Fury, in my opinion, should have come out and said, Hughie's a kid. He's got a lot to work on. We're going to give him 10 to 15 more fights and move him towards world titles at 25 years old. But instead, we've constantly heard, oh, there'll be a top 10 opponent. There'll be a top 10 opponent. And I know they've had bad luck with pullouts. But let's be honest. At no stage have we seen, the likes of the Bermain Staverns, the likes of the Bryant Jennings, the likes of the Luis Ortizes, the likes of the, those sort of fighters. No stage have we seen those fights even be on the horizon. Expectations have been raised. And I don't think the Furies can complain if people are beginning to get slightly frustrated with Hughie's opponents, given that expectations have been raised. And for me, Peter's falling into the same trap again by calling out Kubrat Pulev and Anthony Joshua. Clearly these fights aren't going to happen next. And, clearly that's raising fans' expectations to this level when we're probably going to get a fight that most likely is going to be below that level. It's frustrating. I'm a fan of Tyson Fury. I'm a fan of Hughie Fury. I hope they can come back. I hope the allegations are incorrect. I hope they both have extremely successful careers. But at this point, I'm questioning what's going on. I really am. You've got a heavyweight champion of the world who blows up massively in weight between fights, who's been very, very inactive for the last 2 or 3 years, who apparently has a terrible injury, and is then seen partying at the Euro tournament. It's just a bizarre situation, and with both the Furies at present, I think even as a most ardent Fury fan, there's more questions than answers, and it's a deep concern to someone who's followed and supported the team throughout their respective careers. Let me know your thoughts on this, guys. Let me know your take on the saga. Do you agree or disagree with the points I have raised? If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe. I'd certainly appreciate that. Thanks for watching.